Chapter 44. Capture of Ogdensburgh Unplanned. The British flag waved over Ogdensburgh on February 22, 1813, because Colonel Red George MacDonald defied Governor-General Sir George Prevost's order not to attack the town. Prevost arrived at Prescott on February 21st, and MacDonald obtained his reluctant permission to have a demonstration on the ice of the St. Lawrence River. Prevost, with an escort, left Prescott on the morning of February 22nd for Brockville, after repeating his verbal order forbidding MacDonald to attack Ogdensburgh. He also put it in writing. Private and confidential, Mr. Flint's 9:00 a.m., Monday, 22nd February. You will not undertake any offensive operations against Ogdensburgh without previous communication with Major General de Rottenburg, unless the imbecile conduct of your enemy should offer you an opportunity for his destruction, and that of the shipping, batteries, and public stores, which does not admit of delay in availing yourself of it, as I would not have the essential service of the transport of stores to Upper Canada interrupted on any consideration, nor do I think it proper to beget irritation in the mind of the people of the United States by any act that does not bear on the face of it a just retaliation on the military force of that country for wanton and unprovoked injuries. When MacDonald received the letter with any salutation curtly omitted, he was directing a military action on Ford Street in Ogdensburgh. He had sent 2 columns across the St. Lawrence River ice. One had arrived below the village and one above, at the point, a mile apart. As the parties crossed, the ice undulated and cracked, making loud snapping noises. The right or upper column gave way against a battery of 6 guns. The men had to plow through snow 4 feet deep. MacDonald, who was wounded in the action, received a second letter, this one with a proper salutation. Prevost, basking in the victory at Ogdensburgh, said, Kingston, 23rd February, 1813. My dear sir, although you have rather exceeded my orders, I am well pleased with what you have done, and so I have just told you in a general order, which is to announce to the troops in British America your achievement, etc., etc. I am yours faithfully, George Prevost. The order. His Excellency feels much pleasure in publicly expressing his entire approbation of the gallantry and judgment with which it appears to have been conducted. A salute to be fired immediately. John Harvey, Lieutenant Colonel, Deputy Adjutant General. On March 8, 1813, the Commons House of the Assembly of Upper Canada hailed the splendid victory at Ogdensburgh. The Governor-General proposed that MacDonald receive confirmation by brevet of the rank in which he had actually conquered Ogdensburgh, and that Ogdensburgh should be a medal day. But 35 years later, MacDonald, writing as Philippides in Colburn's United Service Magazine and Naval and Military Journal, London, 1848, said he had never received either medal or brevet or a good service pension, although he had been again and again refused any consideration whatever of his claims. His account was written in third person. Fearful that the presence of the Governor-General might bring an American attack on Prescott, MacDonald and his friend Captain Jenkins spent the night before the Battle of Ogdensburgh on horseback on the St. Lawrence River ice, watching for movements at Ogdensburgh. Prevost ignored MacDonald's intelligence that a report was current 2 or 3 days previously at Ogdensburgh of Mr. David Parrish's immense stone warehouse in that place, having been examined by an American engineer, and was about to be converted into a barrack for 3,000 troops, soon expected at that post. In vain the lieutenant colonel suggested the propriety of anticipating the enemy by the destruction of that warehouse, quite capable, from the solidity of its structure, of being rendered a respectable fortress. He, Prevost, particularly objected to the hazard of doing anything that might tend to interrupt the transport service. MacDonald called the attack on Ogdensburgh a chance assault, the merest accident. A motion in the House of the Assembly to give him a sword of 100 guineas value for the capture of Ogdensburg was quashed by the Speaker of the House, who showed that the lieutenant colonel was a papist and as such ought not receive from a Protestant government any reward for any victory. MacDonald wrote, "And so it is that Lieutenant Colonel MacDonald has actually this day less rank than he had before the capture of Ogdensburg. He was then locally lieutenant colonel on 8th February 1813. He is now only a lieutenant colonel of the 24th February 1814. Captain Jenkins, who was 24 when he was maimed in the Battle of Ogdensburg, died not long afterward of apoplexy. The ill-starred Captain Forsyth was shot and killed by an Indian at Odelltown, near Rouse's Point, on June 22, 1814. MacDonald had the greatest respect for the American Captain Forsyth and his crack regular rifle corps. MacDonald said such men were of our bone, our own rebel sons, for the most part born with a long rifle in their hands, hunters in the forest from infancy, and unerring marksmen, seeing a small red squirrel where a British soldier would not discover an elephant."